All right, everyone, please come onto your backs. Just simply lying back on your yoga mat. If you'd like, you can have your knees bent and then have your feet towards the outsides, or you can simply extend your legs out completely, whatever feels most comfortable for you right now. Either allow your eye gaze to soften or close your eyes completely. If you'd like to place one hand on heart, one hand on belly to help you connect to your breath, please do so. If it's more comfortable to simply lie and find stillness in that manner, choose what is best for you. Feel your belly rise in your inhalations and fall on your exhalations. And then notice if you can soften the muscles a little bit, so when you breathe in, it's a little easier, a little fuller. Allow your exhales to occur naturally, slowly. And I invite you to set a dedication or an intention for your practice. Perhaps this is something you've been working on for some time. If you were practicing it last week, we talked a lot about self-compassion. Maybe that's something that resonates with you still, or perhaps it's something new. Maybe it felt a little intimidating before and you're ready to take a look at that. Can you become radical in the ways that you're good to yourself? Radical self-compassion. We'll take a few breaths together as a community, solidifying these dedications that we've set for ourselves. So take a very deep breath in, fill up all the way, offering yourself everything that you can. Pause at the very top, and then on an exhale, release it out, let it go all the way down to the bottom, feel the void. And then again, deep breath in, fill up, full expansion. Notice that fullness. And then exhale to simply release it, let it go. And then once more for yourself. All right, if you'd like to keep your eyes closed here, this helps you connect and allow your eyes to stay closed. If it helps to open them up and to bring you into this more active part of the practice, please do that. If your knees are bent, I invite you to extend your legs out in front of you. And we're gonna all press through toes, reach up through our arms. Sometimes it feels really good to have your thumbs facing down towards the floor. And so your pinkies, that razor edge of your hand pointing up. Maybe your low back comes away from the mat. Really deep breath. And then soften, just release, let everything go soft. We're going to take a banana shape here. So reclined crescent, torso about where it is. Walk your legs over to the right. And if you want a little bit more, cross the left ankle over right. Arch your arms and shoulders over to the right. And you can even take your right hands to your left wrist. As you do so, gently pull your left shoulder down to the mat. Still try to keep a little bit of space between your left ear and left shoulder. Just a tiny little bit of a tug, not too much. Just waking up the side body. And then when you're ready, on your exhale, uncross the top leg. If you took that version, wiggle back to the center, then you'll wiggle to the other side. Legs go over to the left, maybe cross right ankle over left. Wiggle your shoulders and your head over to the left. Again, you might take left hand to right wrist to accentuate that stretch. Soften, draw. And then on an exhale, start to uncross the top leg. If you took that variation, moving everything back to center, realigning. Gently pull your knees to your chest, take your hands to the tops of your knees, and then first just move your legs around. So you're moving your femur in the socket, moving through ankles and toes. Just finding a little bit of movement here. And then we're going to take a pretty gentle twist here. Place your feet onto the mat and then separate your feet a bit wider so they might come about parallel at the edges of your mat. Drop both knees over to the right. If you'd like a little bit more, this might not be appropriate since it's fairly early in the morning still. You might take right hand to your left thigh. I find that just the weight of my legs is plenty here. On an exhale, take your knees back up to center and then drop both over to the left. Adjust if you need. Again, if you need more, left hand on top of right thigh. Again, I find that I'm fine just as is. It's intense enough. And then on an exhale, engage your core so you can safely bring your knees back up to center. Walk your feet back in closer toward each other so that they're in line with your knees and your hips. So you're kind of set up for a bridge pose. We're going to take a bridge flow here. So if you need to walk your feet in a little bit closer to you so that you've got lots of strength, you want your fingertips to about tickle the backs of your heels. I had a conversation last week with a student about their low back hurting here. So something I want you to remember is that you're also pressing down through your shoulder blades. You might want to shrug your shoulders down and make sure that you're always connecting downward at this upper part of your back. So if you have any kind of pain here, one, chat with me after, and two, this will help. So press through your feet on an inhale, lift up hips, press your shoulders, reach your arms up and back, backs of palms about pressing the mat. Gentle tension to your bum, exhale, lower your hips and your hands. Again, deep breath in, lift up, slide your tailbone like it's gonna reach toward the backs of your knees, press your shoulders, your arms lift back, exhale, rock it all the way back down. We're gonna take this several more times. Move with your own breath, and also if you find, I like to lift up my heels for a little bit of extra stretch, and then I keep them lifted almost all the way through my exhale until the hips are down, then my heels drop, and then I take the same motion again. I lift up my hips and my arms first, heels lift last, top of my breath. Exhale, rolling down through my spine, taking my arms alongside me, my hips come down, my heels come down. 2 more times. Deep inhalations, deep exhalations. And then after that second time, once again, bring your knees in towards your chest, maybe a little bit tighter in, roll a little from side to side. And then take your hands to the backs of your thighs. We're gonna roll up and then over onto our hands and knees. If this doesn't feel great on your back, then simply roll to one side and then find your way to hands and knees, tabletop position. So you're gonna come to tabletop. We're gonna take a traditional cow and cat pose here. So make sure wrists below shoulders, knees below the hips. Inhale, drop belly, lift up hips and heart, gaze up. Wrap your inner elbows forward. Exhale, press through hands and knees, arch your spine, look down towards your knees or even belly. Inhale, swoop it forward. Again, fingertips are spread wide, inner elbows face forward. Exhale, press up, arch your back. 3 more times like this, move with your own breath. This can be really exaggerated or somewhat contained. And then come back to that neutral tabletop position. We're going to take some tabletop crunches simply to warm up our body, start to build some tonus. So reach your right arm up, thumb is up. Left leg comes back. So either point, flex, do something. Make sure your belly is pulled in. If you're looking for like super extra zhuzh, tuck your back toes and lift up your right knee. Just pretty, it's really hard to balance. Drop the knee if you've taken it. And this time we're going to take some regular crunches. On an exhale, take your right elbow to your knee, arch your back, like cat. Inhale, reach out, keep your belly taut and strong. Exhale, pull in. Last time like that. Reach out, arm extends, leg extends. Exhale, pull underneath you. Final time to extend out, and then hand and knee drop. Take a couple breaths here, maybe take a round of cow and cat, or simply move around. And then come back to that neutral pose. This time, left arm is out, right leg is back. I'm gonna stay here for a couple breaths. If you want an extra balance challenge, tuck your left toes, lift up your left knee. Focus on your breath. Okay, drop the knee if you took that challenge. We're gonna take still a challenge, core pose. You're gonna pull your elbow in towards knee, arch your spine, and exhale. Inhale, reach out. Exhale to pull in. Inhale, reach out. Final time to draw in. Reach arms out, legs out, and then hands and knee back down. Child's pose. Bring your toes to touch, knees a little bit wider or maybe very much wider. Stretch your hips back. And then release down. See if your forehead can rest on something, whether it's fists, a prop, or onto the mat. And if this angle is a bit much, you can place something between your calves and your thighs to give you a little bit of lift. Just breathe. You've got the next 3 breaths to make your way to a downward facing dog posture, first one of this class. So take your time getting there. Your first of 3 breaths moving is now. About now, you're coming upon that 3rd exhale. If you haven't already gotten to your downward facing dog, start to move in that direction. First, drive up onto your toes, bend your knees slightly, and then pivot so your heels come to the right. Start to drop your heels. Maybe your legs come a little straighter. Keep your left shoulder dropped. So this might provide you with a bit of a stretch on the left side of your body. When you're ready, lift up toward your toes again, pivoting toward the front, bend your knees, pivot your heels to the left, start to let your heels drop, maybe your legs become a little straighter, and start to press back towards your right side. Then bending both knees, realign, so come back to front, and then come back to your traditional downward facing dog. Walk your hands on the back of your mat. You might need to bend your knees in order to do this, and then take a ragdoll pose at the back of your mat. To this distance between your feet, bent knees, let your head go heavy. Maybe shrug your shoulders. You can take your elbows in your hands. And if you know that you're feeling particularly tight in your shoulders, and this is something that you want to explore, interlace your fingers at your low back, press the heels of your hands together, and then start to straighten your arms. See how close you can keep the heels of hands together here. Once again, allow your jaw to be soft. And then if you've taken that class, start to bring your hands back down to your hips. And then everyone release whatever clasp you've taken so your fingertips drift down. On an inhale, lift up halfway, fingertips to your shins, shoulder blades, pull back. Exhale, fold, forward fold. Again, like that. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Final time, breath in, wave long, shoulder blades on your back, finding a little bit of cobra for your chest. Exhale, fold once again. Bend your knees a bit so you can walk your hands back to make your way back to a downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift your right leg up toward the ceiling. Make sure that even your pinky toe is facing down. Then bend your knee, open up through your hips, keep your right shoulder dropped, press your chest towards your left thigh. You keep your left hip pulling back even here. Re-straighten your right leg back to that tripod dog. On an exhale, pull your knee to your chest and then place your foot between your hands toward right thumb. Drop your left knee down. Anjaneyasana pose, arms lift up, pinkies facing toward each other. Maybe take your arms a little wider. And if you'd like to start to sink down into your hips a bit. If this is too much, then simply stay right up. 3 more breaths. Lots of space between shoulders and the ears. At the end of your 3rd exhale, plant your hands down to frame your front foot. Ardha Hanumanasana half slice. Send your hips back, start to flex your right foot. If your leg becomes totally straight, you might need to wiggle your foot up so that you've got your hips over your knee. If your knee's already bent, you're probably good to go. Flex your toes towards your face. Inhale, lift up halfway. Make sure your right hip is gently pulling back. Then on an exhale, you're going to start to bow down. Reach your chin to your shin. Again, you can get plenty of activation here with a bent knee, so don't worry about it. All right, we're going to take a variation here. I was sharing with some of you earlier today that I'm feeling fairly tight, lots of times to the best. So on this variation, lift up halfway, left hand to the outside of your right foot, bend your right knee just a bit, and then safely cross your foot. So my right ankle is like pretty much in front of my left knee. So I've got this awkward shape. Again, your knee might bend here. Inhale, lift out once again. And then on an exhale, you're going to bow forward or over to the right. If you don't really find a sweet spot and you're like, I don't know what we're getting at, then start to angle your foot in different directions. It's very likely you'll find a spot where you're like, that could use a little bit of love, a little bit of a stretch. Be gentle. Radical compassion for your body here. All right, and then lift your way back up again. Left hand to outside of right foot, bend your knee so you can, safely realign your heel. Cool, rebend into your right knee. Tuck your back toes, lift up your back knee. You're in a low lunge position. Weight to your left palm, peel your right fingertips up. Low lunge twist. So again, we're going to work towards a side plank here. If you're like, no ma'am, then stay exactly where you are. If you're going to be moving with me, spin all of your toes away from you. You're on the razor edge of your left foot. You might be like, this is quite far enough. I'm going to stay here. Or if you want to move with me again, lift up your right foot and then place it on top of your left. If you need to stagger for a little bit of balance assist, take that. If you're still looking for more, because I know some of you are this morning, reach your right arm out ahead of you so that your bicep is over your right ear. Hover your right leg. And then on an exhale, pull your right elbow to your right knee. Extend out. 2 more times like that. Wherever you are, you're flexing through your left foot, lifting your hips high. And then we will all, on an exhale, come to the top of a plank pose. You might need to step your right foot back. Drop your knees, toes together, knees wide. Take a child's pose. In your child's pose, you have 3 breaths. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog. First of 3 breaths begins now. You might be coming on your 3rd exhale, so begin your transition back to your downward facing dog posture. Keep your long exhales, and then when you're ready, on an inhale, left leg lifts up for a tripod dog. Again, make sure that your pinky toe is ever so slightly pointed down. Then bend your knee, open up through your hips. Right hip continues to pull back. Left shoulder is square with the right. Then re-square your hips, bring your left leg back out to that tripod dog. On an exhale, pull your knee to your chest so you can place your foot between your hands for left thumb. Use your hand to guide you as much as you need. Drop your right knee down, Anjaneyasana as you're ready. Your arms lift. Again, you might find you need your hips over your knee. If it suits you, dive in a little bit more. And if your shoulders are very tight, take just a wider view with your hands. And then on an exhale, plant your hands down to frame the front foot, shift your hips back. Leg becomes straighter or straight. If it comes totally straight, wiggle the left foot forward. Flex your toes towards your face. You want your hips over your knee for stability. Inhale, lengthen out, lots of length in your spine. Exhale, chin towards your shin. Continue to breathe. And then we're going to take that variation again. So lift up a bit. Right hand to the outside of your left foot, a little bend to your knee is going to assist here. Lift up your entire leg, and then move it several inches over to the right. Cool. Right hand down wherever it suits you. Inhale to lengthen forward, and on the exhale, you bow forward or to the left. And again, if you're like, I'm not sure what I'm feeling, start to angle your toes in different directions. Actively feel your left hip drawing back. Long exhales, nothing changes there. And then when you're ready, lift up halfway again. Right hand to the outside of your left foot. Bend to your knees so you've got stability. Realign your heel in line with your hip. And then rebend to the front knee so you're in a low lunge. Pop your back toes, lift up your back knee. Or weight to your right hand, maybe even take it out to the side. Give yourself a lot of space here. Left fingertips, lift up, low lunge twist. Again, we've got some options. You can stay right here, or if you'd like to move with me, flip your toes away from you. You're on the razor edge of your right foot. You can stay right here for this stretch, or stack left foot on top of right, plank pose. Again, further if you would like it. Sweep your arm over your head, space between shoulder and ear, but your bicep is stacked on top of your left ear. Left leg lifts. And then on an exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Twice more if you'd like. And then we'll all, on an exhale, find a way to a plank pose. This might mean you have to step your left foot back, knees to mat, toes to touch, hips to heels, child's pose. Find your long exhalations and your deep inhalations. Then press up to your hands and knees, tabletop pose. Bring your knees in line with your feet so you've got parallel shins. Send your hips back to your heels, modified child's pose. Inhale, rise to your knees, palms lift, slight back bend. Exhale, bow all the way down, modified child. Keep your heart low. Inhale, slither your heart. You're in a cow pose. Exhale, press up through cat. Send your hips back to your heels. That modified child's pose. We'll do that flow once more. Inhale, rise to knees. Exhale, bow, modified child's pose. Head is heavy. Inhale, slither forward. Belly is down for a cow. Exhale, press up through your cat pose. Start to shift your hips back part way. Tuck your toes. Make your way back to a downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, bend knees, look toward the top of your mat. On an exhale, step or hop to the top to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Fingertips press against shins, thighs, or the earth. Halfway lift, exhale, fold. Press through your feet, root to rise. Reach your arms out and up. Perhaps your palms press above you, and on an exhale, hands to your heart center. And then arms alongside your body, Tadasana pose. Stay here for 3 breaths. At the end of your 3rd exhale, next breath in, reach arms out and up. Send your gaze up towards the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold, bent knees are totally fine. Take it all the way down. Breath in, halfway lift, offer your heart. Exhale, fold, offer it to yourself. Bend your knees, step back to the top of a plank pose. Press back to downward facing dog or flow through a vinyasa of your choice. On your next inhale, right leg lifts up and back, long, straight, strong. On an exhale, take your knee to your chest, place your foot between your hands toward right thumb. Pop in your left foot slightly, and we're going to move to a warrior 1. You give yourself a little bit of space. Angle your left foot down at 45 degrees, right hip pulls back. Hover your fingertips away from the mat and lift all the way up. And then start to settle in. Press to the outer edge of your left foot. Notice if your low back is arcing, and see if you can draw it in slightly and allow that to let you sit more deeply. If you find your knee goes beyond your ankle, wiggle the foot out. Simply breathe. Inhale here. On an exhale, start to straighten the front leg. Right hip is pulling back, so you're still working on squaring hips. And then reach your arms forward as you're continuing to press your hips back. Just breathe, breathe, breathe as slow as you can. I know, and then hands drop down. It means you need to bend your knees. Totally fine. Both knees can even be bent. Inhale, lift up halfway once again. Maybe you can take right thumb to your right hip crease and remind your hip back. Find the Tadasana through your back, through your chest. Exhale, chin towards your shin. For those of you that are feeling tightness, you might want to take this variation for the next couple breaths. Pick up your right toes, lift up halfway, and then bow down towards the foot again. If this is way too much, you can always pop up onto your toes instead of taking warrior one foot with your back leg. If you take a toe up option, release your foot down. Hover your fingertips away from the mat. We move back to warrior one. Rebend into the right knee. Lift all the way up. Sit low. Okay. We're going to take Garudasana arms here. So left elbow underneath. Perhaps you just take hands to shoulders, or maybe you wrap twice. See if you can lift your elbows up in line with your shoulders, reaching your palms away from you. Continue to pull your right hip back. Just breathe. From here, we're going to have a transition to a half moon pose, so just get ready. You're going to unravel your hands. You continue to keep your right knee bent, put onto the ball of your back foot, angle your chest toward the long side of your mat. You're going to lean forward. I'm using a block here. My left hand to my hip. I'm going to shift all the way to my right leg, and maybe in a couple steps or one, you start to lift up the left. Keep your leg about in line with your toes in line with your nose. And if you like, left fingertips, lift up towards the ceiling. 2 more breaths. On that second exhale, place your left foot next to the right, ragdoll pose, let it go. And then on an inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Press your feet down and away from each other. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, arms come out and up. And then on an exhale, bring your hands back to your heart center. Arms alongside your body, Tadasana. 3 breaths here. And then as you're ready, you're going to flow your way back to downward facing dog. Move to the sound of your own breath, or you can follow the sound of my voice. Inhale, arms lift, gaze up towards the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and bend the knees is fine. Bow all the way down. Halfway lift on an inhalation, fingertips find resistance against something. Exhale, fold. Step back to downward facing dog. If you find you need a vinyasa, take a vinyasa. As you're ready, inhale, left leg lifts up and back, long, straight, strong. And an exhale, pull your knee to your chest, get your hips real high, and then place your foot between your hands toward left thumb. We're taking warrior one on this side, so pop your right foot in about 1/4 of the way. Left hip pulls back, start to square your hips from the start. Press through feet, lift arms up. Make the adjustments that you need. So again, the idea is squared hips. Anatomically, we're just pulling left hip back and right forward. You've got a deep stretch through your right hip flexor. Get low. Again, if you ever need to take your arms wide, certainly do that. Continue to breathe. Start to knit your bottom ribs into your hips. And then straighten the left leg. Notice how this assists your left hip coming back even more. Keeping your arms extended as much as you can. You're going to hinge forward, left hip, reach back. Press through both feet. Your front knee bending is totally fine. Breathe, 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 and as slow as you can. Eventually your hands come down to something, either your mat or a block. Again, a bent knee or 2 bent knees is totally fine. Inhale, halfway lift. Left thumb to left hip crease, guide it back. And on your exhale, start to reach your chin for your shin. See if you can keep the arch lifted of your right foot. And then if you took this option on the other side, you'd like to try it here. Lift up halfway, pull your left toes towards your face. Again, keep pulling left hip energetically back. And then start to bow chin to shin. Exhales. All right, if you took that option, release the foot back down to the mat. We're all going to move to a warrior one once again. So bend into your left knee. Press through your feet, lift all the way up. Warrior one, Virabhadasana Eka. And then we'll take Garudasana arms once again. On this side, right elbow is underneath, hands to shoulders, Wrapping once, wrapping twice. If you're doing the extra wrapping, consider lifting your elbows up in line with shoulders, palms reaching away from you. Sit low into your left knee. Left hip continues to pull back gently. And just like on the other side, we're moving to a half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Unravel your arms. Right hand to your right hip. Start to shift the heel up. Lean forward. Left hand comes down to block or the earth. One step or several, right leg will lift. Keep your left wrist under your left shoulder. This will also help. I'm angling my right shoulder upwards so my chest is more toward the long side of my mat. And then if you'd like, lift up right fingertips. Flexing through right foot even if your leg is bent. Find stability through everything that is touching your mat. 2 more breaths. And then when you're ready, on an exhale, a little bend to the standing leg. Place your right foot next to the other, hand comes down. Rest, forward fold. When you're ready, inhale, halfway lift, look forward. Exhale, fold. Press through your feet, reach arms out and up. Come all the way to standing. Bent knees to this is totally fine. And on an exhale, hands to your heart. Feel free to leave your hands at your heart center or bring them back alongside your body for a more traditional Tadasana. We're gonna have 3 breaths here. And then we flow back to downward facing dog. Feel free to take your own rhythm and your own breath and movement. I'll also provide guidance. First of 3 breaths in Tadasana is now. On an inhale, reach arms up towards the ceiling, gaze is slightly up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold, arms wide or through your heart center. Inhale, offer your heart, halfway lift. Exhale, fold to honor yourself. Step back to the top of a plank pose and then press up and back to a downward facing dog. If you'd like to take a vinyasa, please take one. Continue to breathe long and slow. We'll be in this downward facing dog for 3 more breaths. If you'd like to take a child's pose, please do. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. 3rd inhale, strengthening. 3rd exhale, let go. On your next inhale, right leg lifts up and back, long, straight, strong. On an exhale, pull your knee to your chest, place your foot between hands for right thumb. Warrior 1, once again, step your left foot in slightly, press through both feet before you lift all the way up. Find your foundation before you move, just breathe. Straighten the front leg, make sure your right hip continues to pull back. You're going to reach forward, and eventually your hands come down towards blocks or to the mat, bent knees or not. Make sure that you give yourself space on inhale, movement on exhale. Option for toes toward face version, 3 more breaths. Keep your right hip pulling back. After that 3rd exhale, release the foot down if you took that version. Bending into right knee, lift up to your warrior 1 once again. Again, see if you can pull your hip tips towards your ribs. I know it feels like a lot, doesn't maybe look like a lot. Gavadasana arms, left elbow on the bottom. Wrap as much as feels comfortable for you. 1 time, if you're taking a wrap, inhale, lift up, slight back bend. Exhale, pull your elbows in towards your belly, keep the deep bend. Awesome. We're gonna move to that Ardha Chandrasana pose. Unravel, start to set yourself up, squaring your shoulders to the left. Left hand to left hip, reach right hand out, left leg lifts. All right, option to stay right here. We're gonna connect a few poses here, and I'd like you to join me. Go ahead and try. Trying is everything. Take yourself to your edge. Bend your top leg and reach your left leg, arm back for it. Maybe grasp the foot. It often helps to bend the standing leg. You come to Chapasana pose. This is Sugar Cane. All right, press foot into hand, hand into foot. This feels a lot like dancer pose, so we're gonna go ahead and try it. Little bend to your right knee. And maybe without stepping your left foot down, maybe with you do, you're gonna come up all the way. Right arm lifts. Press your left foot into your left hand. Continue to pull your left hip though towards the front of the room. Slightly different variation in this stretch. 2 more breaths wherever you are. And then release your knee down, release your foot. Shake it out. What? Good morning. And then let's take a standing figure forward just to kind of undo that a bit. So at the front of your mat, feet about hips width distance. Little bend to your left knee, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Hands to hips usually helps me. I'm gonna stick my bum out and I'm gonna hinge forward. Can't tell the shirt, but my ribs are actually in. And you can keep your hands right here. You can do something else that feels better for you. If you're like, I need so much core in my life, that you get your arms out, your biceps alongside your ears. Flex to the right foot. More intensity if you bring your right knee down and back. Again, additional core option is arms out. All right, if you took arms out, bring them back towards your hips. Start to come up to standing, uncross, stand down. On yoga flag. What a day, what a time to be alive. And then make your way back to the top of your mat. Hands at heart center on the CT. Arms alongside, Tadasana. Once again, we're going to be here for 3 breaths, and then we'll flow back to downward facing dog. This time is yours if you'd like to take your own flow. I will provide guidance without a vinyasa. First of 3 breaths is now. On an inhale, arms lift up, upward prayer. Exhale, hinge at hips, forward fold all the way down. Long inhale, halfway lift to offer your heart. Find fire in your belly, exhale, fold to honor yourself. Step back to a plank pose, lots of space, and then lift hips up and back to downward facing dog. You can always take a vinyasa if you choose. 3 breaths. On your next inhale, left leg lifts up and back, long, straight, strong. On an exhale, pull your knee to your chest, lift your hips high, press your foot next to your left thumb. Warrior 1, step your right foot in to give yourself more stability. Lift all the way up. Sit low, knit ribs in towards hips. Left hip draws back, pressing through outer edge of right foot. Straighten the left leg, we move towards our pyramid pose. Left hip draws back as you reach your arms forward, 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 forward. Bent knee is fine. And then drop hands whenever you do. Inhale, wave out long. Left hip draws back. If this, again, ever becomes too uncomfortable, pop onto your back toes. Your exhales draw you closer, chin to shin. If you're taking that other variation, bring your toes up towards your face, get out of your own way first, and then deepen your posture. 3 more breaths. At the end of that 3rd exhale, release the foot back down. Bend to the front knee, we come to a warrior 1 pose. Get your lower torso and your lower body into the pose before you add torso. Yes. Set up your foundation. And then eagle arms, Garudasana arms, right elbow on the bottom. Wrap as much as feels comfortable. And if you'd like, 1 time. Inhale, lift up elbows. This will cause your ribs to jut out. Exhale, draw in, elbows in toward belly. Start to come out of the posture just a bit so you can unravel. Again, shoulders are going to start to come more parallel to the long side of your mat. Kick up onto your toes of your back foot. We take our Ardha Chandrasana half moon pose here. Lean forward, left wrist below your left shoulder. Right leg will lift as much as you like. Take a look at your left toes and make sure that your toes are in line with your heel. A lot of times our bodies love to trick us and like take kind of like a sickle action. And then again, if you'd like, right fingertips lift up, flex or point your right foot, just find that activity, this helps. And then we're gonna make things very fun. Bend your top leg, reach your right hand back for the foot. Maybe you clasp, maybe you don't. Press foot into hand, hand into foot. If you're looking for more of a heart opener, your right palm is to the inside of your right foot, thumb up towards ceiling. Again, Shavasana is much like dancer pose, we've changed orientation. We're going to take that posture. So a little bend to your left knee to help you engage your muscles. Start to lift up. Left fingertips up towards the ceiling if you would like. Right hip is squaring forward. Right foot into right hand. Simply breathe. And then when you're ready, start to drop the knee, loosen all your muscles, release the foot, stand down. Let it go. Time to be alive. All right, and then we're gonna take the standing figure four, opposite side. So start with feet hips width distance apart, little bend to both knees. Shift the weight to your right leg, cross the left ankle over, right thigh. Stick your bum out. Start to hinge your hips forward, your shoulders forward rather. Flexing through left foot, left knee moves down and back for more intensity. And if you're looking for more core, arms out alongside you, palms facing each other. Biceps along yours. If you've taken the core variation, start to bring your hands back. We'll all start to stand back up again. Uncross, stand down. Let it go. Then come back to the top of your mat. For your Samasthiti with hands at heart, or Tadasana, arms alongside your body. Just as we did on the other side, we'll be here for several breaths. We'll flow back to downward facing dog. You can choose to follow my voice or move to your own rhythm. First of 3 breaths is now. Inhale, arms lift up, shoulders drift away from your ears. Exhale, hinge at hips, forward fold. Inhale, offer your heart, fingertips find resistance, use this. Exhale, fold to bow to yourself. Step the top of Palakasana, plank pose, and then press up and back to downward facing dog unless you need a vinyasa. If so, take it. Inhale 1, exhale. Inhale 2, exhale. Inhale 3, exhale. Start to bend your knees, come to a child's pose, knees a little wider, toes to tap. Bring your hips back to your heels unless this is not restful, in which case find another posture. Allow your eye gaze to go soft or your eyelids to close. We're going to meet back in downward facing dog in several breaths. The next 5 breaths are for you to do whatever you'd like, whether it's to rest, work on another posture, take some water. But we will meet in downward facing dog. Your first of 5 breaths begins now. You might be coming to the end of your 5th exhale. If you're not, take your time. Complete whatever you're working on, whatever postures, whatever thing is happening, and then make your way back to your downward facing dog. On an inhale, right leg lifts up and back, long, straight, strong. On an exhale, take your knee to your right elbow, shift it forward, keep your hips lifted high, maybe heel toward bum. Inhale, take it up and back, tripod dog. Exhale, take your knee to your right elbow again, press to your hands, you're really curling in. Inhale, once again, tripod. Third time, take your knee to your right elbow, keep your hips high. This time we're moving to a lizard pose. Your right foot comes to the outside of your right hand. Option to keep left knee down or up. For this variation, I'm going to be keeping my knee up. This is up to you. I've got my right foot ever so slightly pointed out to the side to give my hips a little bit of room. So hands are on spider fingers usually. Maybe you're totally flat palmed. And then on an exhale, when you're ready, start to bend your elbows. Maybe you come onto a block with your forearms or all the way down onto the mat. Every day is different. Kind of doesn't matter, right? Just be aware of what's happening. See if you can pull judgment away from it and offer yourself more compassion. If you've taken forearms down, start to press your way back up. We're going to move to Malasana pose from here. It's going to be very fun. So find a little bit of movement, find a little bit of buoyancy, front to back. And then you're going to place your left foot to the outside of your left hand with your toes out. Maybe this takes several steps. Or if you really lean forward and look forward, you might be able to pick up your foot and stand it all the way to the outside. Toes out, heels in. Start to drop your hips down. You might find that it's comfortable for you just to drop your hips and have your hands on the mat. This is Malasana posture. You might find that you've got lots of room to drop down, your hands pressed together, shoulder blades back, maybe thumbs towards sternum. I promise we won't be here forever. Start to breathe. Find some different spaciousness that you haven't accessed yet. And if you've taken your hands to heart, start to bring them back down towards the mat. Start to lift your hips up. Heel toe your feet back so that they're parallel to each other. Ragdoll pose. And sometimes you might find that it feels nice to wrap your arms around the backs of your knees, curling in as you get soft. Release your fingertips down toward the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, offer your heart. Exhale, fold. Step back to the top of a plank pose. If you'd like a vinyasa, take it. We will meet in downward facing dog. When you are ready, inhale, left leg lifts up and back, long, straight, strong. Exhale, take your knee to your left elbow, lift your hips high, keep your heel high, press through your hands. Inhale, back to the tripod. Exhale, take your knee to your left elbow. Once again, keep it all lifted, pressing away from the mat. Inhale, up and back. Third time, knee to left elbow, and then continue that movement. Left foot comes to the outside of left hand. Left toes slightly pointed out to the side. We move toward a lizard pose on this side. I'll be keeping my right knee up. You have an option always to drop the knee. It might not be the same as the other side. You know, sometimes things happen. So wherever you are, find length first. Give yourself space, otherwise you have nowhere to move. And then on your exhales, maybe you start to drop down to your palms, elbows bend back, use a block, find where you're going. If your elbows have bent, you've come onto your forearms somewhere, start to press your way back up. Again, we're going to move to Malasana pose. So find some movement, find a little buoyancy. Allow your body to work with you. A little bit of momentum is fine. We're not looking to like slingshot all over the place. Lean forward. And then place your right foot to the outside of your right hand, maybe a couple steps, maybe simply one. Toes out, heels in. If you're, I say very tall, more than 5'3", maybe your feet are on straddling the edges of your mat. For me, that's not happening. So I am not on the edges of my mat. I'm going to start to squat down. My knees are out, my tailbone drops, elbows to the insides of my knees if that feels right. And then if it feels okay, start to drop down further. Always find to have hands in the mat or even on a block to keep yourself lifted. Thumbs in towards sternum if it reaches. This one if it doesn't. Once again, find spaciousness where you did not before. Even in a posture, maybe it feels compromised. Find the breath anyway. It does exist. And then wherever you've come to, hands are down into the mat. Slowly lift your hips up. Share the responsibility of your body onto your fingertips. Heel toe your feet back so that they are parallel to each other. Bend knees. Get soft. Your option for your ragdoll pose. If you've taken a bind, release your fingertips down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Press through your feet, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. We'll be here for 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Release. Gather. Let go. Reach your arms out and up once again, keeping your arms parallel to each other rather than clasping hands. Keeping your feet hips width distance. Sit your hips low to a chair pose. See if you can keep that Tadasana in your spine and then sit lower and lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. Keep going. And then go all the way until eventually your bum hits the mat. Bent knees, wrap your arms around your shins, drop your head into your forehead into your knees. Mine doesn't touch, maybe yours does. And start to lift your head right back up. I'm going to take a Janu Shirsasana pose. I'm not going to be mirroring you. My left leg is extended, my right foot into my left thigh. I'm going to adjust my thighs a bit so that I feel nice and secure. Inhale, reach up arms, pivot your torso toward the lengthened leg, and then reach forward, let your hands drop, trying to keep your shoulders about equal with each other. Inhale, lift up halfway once again. Tilt forward, exhale, deepen. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, release. Right hand behind right hip, stargazer pose. Sweep the left arm around, come onto right shin, left foot, reach your fingertips behind you. Maybe you've got a wall behind you, you forgot about that. On an exhale, drop your hips, come right back around to where you started. This time you're gonna bend both knees, place your feet together, your knees wide. We're gonna take a Baddha Konasana. Scoot your hips forward by lifting up your hips if you like. If you're close enough, you're close enough. Hands to your feet, inhale, lift up. Exhale, hinge forward as much as you would like. So you're gonna take an active version this time. We'll do it again in a moment. So see if you can keep Tadasana through your spine. You might find you don't go as far. That's okay. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, release. If you took that closer scooch them back. Right leg extends, unless you did the other side. Left foot into right thigh. Adjust as you need. Inhale, find length. Pivot over the lengthened leg, and on an exhale, reach for your foot. Let your hands land where they do. Inhale. Get out of your own way. Exhale, deepen. halfway. Exhale, release, come all the way up. Left hand behind you, fingertips away, about 12 to 14 inches. Sweep your right arm around, come onto right foot, onto left shin for your stargazer pose. And then on an exhale, start to drop your hips, cycle all the way back around to where you started. Second, Baddha Konasana option. So bend both knees, place your feet toward each other, knees drop wide. At the very least, pick up your hips and then feel your hips scooch underneath you a bit, even if you don't come forward, okay? Hands to your ankles. And then you're going to allow your spine to curve or over. So instead of reaching your chest forward, you're going to slump over. And if it's comfortable for you, and comfort is, this is a relative term. Arms out, palms up. If this is simply too much, place your hands down and give yourself more support. Flip your hands if your palms are facing up, keeping your head heavy. Start to press your hands until you start to stack your way up as you lean up. Once your shoulders are over your hips, start to unravel, lifting your head up. If you've taken yourself a little bit closer and you leave room, lift up your hips by pressing your hands behind you, scooch back, and then take your hands to the backs of your knees to gather them up toward each other. Once again, like closing a book. Hands to the backs of your thighs. We're going to roll all the way onto the back of the mat. If you feel that you'd like some extra core work instead, simply extend your arms out in front of you. And notice the accentuation of your spine as you come down. Little by little by little by little. And then pull your knees in towards your chest gently. And if you'd like to take a happy baby here, kind of mimicking the shapes that we made in Malasana, you'll send your heels up towards the ceiling. Wrap your hands to the outsides of your feet. You might be able to take your hands to the insides of your knees. That is even closer to what that Malasana shape was. If that doesn't work for you, do what you like. And then release that happy baby posture. Let your feet come down onto the mat. We're going to take that same gentle twist that we did towards the beginning. So your feet are a little bit wider than normal. So usually alongside the edges of your mat, drop both knees over to the right. This time, adjust your shoulders, pressing through your upper arms. So you can twist your shoulders, both shoulder blades are down securely, and send your gaze over to the left. That's not comfortable on your neck. Gaze straight up towards ceiling, or chin just about in line where your sternum resides. On an exhale, take your chin up to center, then press through your feet to lift your knees back up. And then we're going to drop both knees over to the right. Again, press through your upper arms, your elbows to lift up your shoulders to make sure your shoulder blades are flat onto the mat. And if available, send gaze over to the right. As you're ready, start to lift your head back up to center. Press through your feet. Bring your knees back up. Bring in your feet a little bit closer so that your knees are in line with your feet, in line with your hips. Arms alongside your body. We're gonna take that bridge flow once again. You can lift your heels if you choose. We'll do this 3 times. On an inhale, lift your hips, lift your arms up and back. Backs of palms might touch mat, maybe heels lift. On an exhale, roll it all the way down. Twice more. And after you've completed that final time for yourself, draw your knees in towards your chest. Take your hands to your shins. Pull your forehead up towards your knees. Offer yourself an embrace, thanking yourself for everything that has come before. Gratitude for this body. Gratitude for this life and for this community. And then when you're ready, exhale, release your head back down. The final posture of this class is Shavasana. If there's any other pose that you need to take, any adjustments, please take those. To come into a traditional Shavasana, release your legs out in front of you. Separate your feet a little bit wider. You may find that you want to press your heels into the mat so you can lift up your hips and then set them back down again. Maybe drawing your tailbone down, perhaps you find a little bit more space here. Similarly, press through your upper arms and your head to lift up your upper back, slide your shoulder blades down, release back down. You might find more opening through the front of your chest. Arms a little bit further out from the sides of your body. Take a deep breath in, and then without effort, let it go. Feel the temperature of the air against the soles of your feet. The way your ankles are soft, no longer supporting you. Soft calves, shins, dropped kneecaps, heavy thighs. Soft belly, pelvis relaxed, belly relaxed. Shoulders drift back and away from you towards the earth, towards your mat. Upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, all finding a softer place. The palms of your hands, the backs of your hands, your fingertips. A softness through your throat. Some space between your bottom jaw and the top, and also your tongue dropping away from the roof of your mouth, allowing yourself to have hollow cheeks. Your eyes heavy and your eyelids closed. Your forehead releasing tension. All of these separate pieces, all these separate parts, engaged as one. And release. Drift your thoughts to someone or something that you love and hold so dearly. Then shine that back onto yourself. And with that, start to make some small movements into your fingertips and your toes, your wrists and ankles, maybe dropping one ear toward the mat and then the other, facilitating a twist in your neck, a nice stretch. Make as much movement as you need, and eventually, you have time. Roll over onto one side in a fetal position or partial fetal position, pausing to recognize this practice, your dedication, the compassion that you're offering yourself, the same that you offer others. And then keeping your eye gaze soft, your eyes closed, make your way to a seated posture for a brief reflection and meditation on this practice. Bring your palms to your heart center, palms together, thumbs to sternum, heart center. Bow your head to your heart. Shoulders dropped away. Chin back and stay slightly so your ears are bowed over your shoulders. I'll be singing the sound of Om one time. If you'd like to join me, I invite you to. I would love you to join me. If you prefer to listen, I'd love you to listen. First, we'll take a collective inhale and exhale. Breathe in to sing. On an inhale, reach your arms out and up, palms press above you. And on an exhale, take your thumbs to the space between your eyebrows for clarity of thought, to your lips for clarity of speech, and then to your heart once again for clarity of action. Bow your head to your heart. Offer yourself all the compassion that you do to your deepest love. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and helping me deepen my own. In the name of the highest good, namaste. All right, everyone's getting unmuted.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.